Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Livewire Gaming Show. We still haven't given up, somehow. I thought we'd give up after week 2, but we're still here.
I'm allowed to talk, sorry.
Dill's allowed to talk again, because he can't keep quiet for 10 seconds. This week we're going to talk about trials and look at games that we're looking forward to coming out in the future, because when I was doing the post-editing last week, I remembered about 20, 50 games that I'm excited for and I forgot to talk about because I'm an idiot. But then Bungie came along and announced their massive big update for the Road to Witch Queen and beyond. So
Thanks,
as
Bungie.
mainly Destiny players, we felt it would be kind of remiss to not
Fucking
talk
over the
about
PvP players once more.
just once more. But we still plan on watching the PlayStation State of Play at 10 p.m. So that gives us about 50 minutes to talk shit about Destiny. And then we will move over and we will react to that live. That's going to take about 30 minutes. So hopefully we get some juicy announcements. Anyway, how is everybody this week? Stephen, I know you've been up to stuff at home.
I have. So if you have all noticed, my camera has moved and I'm probably look like I'm not talking to you, but I am. So I got really frustrated yesterday with my setup. If anyone has the IKEA free desk, I think it's called. It's like an office type desk, but there's nowhere to mount it, so I couldn't mount my monitors for months. And I have a kind of a tabletop mount that I'm using now. And before, when I put it on, the monitors fell over because one's too heavy, one's too light, but I managed to work it. So now things are a bit precarious, but the space underneath is so much better. It's just so clean, having them mounted up and having space underneath for all my work. And so that was my
Isn't
Yeah,
it
playing
isn't it
today.
insane the amount of desk space you gain from mounting your monitors?
It's
Yeah, it's
unbelievable.
ridiculous.
The one thing that I'm worried about though is that the heavy one, so this monitor here, it seems to be too heavy for the tilt. So the tilt kind of
Wow.
is moving a little bit. Now I seem to have kind of jammed it and it seems fine. But then games wise, this week didn't really get to play a lot. What did I do? I don't think I actually did anything. I downloaded the Outriders demo and haven't played it. But really, I've been lots of personal stuff going on, lots of exciting things hopefully happening. So just kind of busy with actual real world stuff and no games, unfortunately. So that's my week. What about you,
Straight
Dale?
up Viper called you a real gamer, and here you are not playing games. You're a disgrace.
You
Dale, what have you been
got
up to?
given your gamer card and just got revoked within the space of 7 days. Jesus Christ. I have library cards that lasted longer than that. Yeah, I've been the usual. I've been playing like Phoenix Rising, Valheim, Destiny. I started back on WoW this week. I jumped into Classic.
I saw that. I was going to get
Yeah.
out of it.
No, I see straight off
Burning
the
Crusade's coming out, sure.
Blizz. That's what it was. It was coming on to BlizzCon. I was watching it inside, and I was like, I was waiting for something to get announced to kind of just excite me, and then Burning Crusade. So when I was playing WoW a couple of months ago, I was going back. It was with the September update, I think it was, where they brought in you can jump into different expansions. So I just jumped into the Burning Crusade, started that. Kind of fizzled off a little bit, but then on this announcement that's coming back, I was like, I might as well start WoW Classic, not have loads of convoluted stuff thrown at me early on, and then lean into the Burning Crusade. So they didn't give an announcement.
Just so
date,
you're
but-
fully aware, Smoke will be listening to this, and he will be trying to grab you for a WoW Classic, because that's all he plays.
Listen, I'm a warlock. I'm level 26. Come at me, bruh.
I'm a noob.
Yeah, so I'm just, to be honest, I'm just enjoying it as background play. I'm not like getting dungeon ready or raid ready. Like I didn't do one raid in the regular one. I just played dungeons solo, like in group finders and stuff like that, and really enjoyed it. So yeah, it's kind of resparked my my drive to play it. So I've been playing that, and you guys will be happy to hear I've been playing Final Fantasy VII.
Ooh.
How far in are
started
you?
it.
Ooh.
I have just got to chapter 6.
Whoa,
wow.
you have been playing it.
Yeah, I've been playing it.
Nice,
You're like
nice.
one. I'm not sure if I like it.
Yeah, I thought you
Six.
would be literally like in sector whatever, like meeting
Sector
Tifa
7.
for the first Sector 7 for the first
No,
time.
and you know what? When I got to chapter 6, I put the controller down because I was like, "This is where I remember watching you, Kev, running through it." So it was good getting to that point. It was a nice point to
Nice.
kind of get to and say, right, I'm gonna take a break for a day or two, and then I'll jump back into it. As a first impression, it's like visually, I was just gobsmacked because you hear remake, and the majority of remakes nowadays they're just ported over from their originals and
Yeah.
a few added textures here and there. But this, holy shit! I was literally sitting there watching
it's a full
YouTube
remake.
comparisons.
Yeah,
it's
a full-
crazy.
It's a full remake. And actually, funny story on that. That game had come out, and one of the guys in work was like, "Is that Final Fantasy VII behind you?" This was back in the March and April Zoom calls from last year at the start of it all. And he's like, "Is that Final Fantasy VII?" I was like, "Yeah, it just came out like yesterday." He's like, "But they're still making it." I was like, "Yeah, they remade it." And he's like, "Oh no, I was like, oh, I played that when I was a kid. I loved that when I was a kid." And I showed him the side by side comparison.
Yeah.
The 1997 to compare it to the 2020 version. He was kind of like, "Oh my god, it looks like what I thought it looked like back then."
Yeah.
And like, I'm running this on a base 500 gig PS4. Like, it's not powerful by any means, and even the cutscenes, like the fluidity is just it's so nice.
Isn't it the smoothest 30 frames per second you've ever
Yeah.
played?
Like that was the other thing. I was waiting for kind of jumps and drop frames
phenomenal.
left, right, and center, especially with the pace of like not the cutscenes, but just the transitional scenes going from that to actual gameplay. It was so smooth. So I'd really recommend it to anybody who just wants like a single player experience. And from someone who has never touched a Final Fantasy game before, it wasn't overbearing. Like, it does explain it at a nice gradual pace going through. Now, there's one or two things, like when you get to summon the, what are they called? Big fucking summons. Yeah, summons. Like that was just out of nowhere. It was just like fucking Yu-Gi-Oh throwing down a fucking card and just appears a fucking giant monster.
Obliterate!
It would be nice to kind of explained where this is coming from, or like why it's a thing, but I'm sure that's second nature to anyone who's played them before. But yeah, combat was a bit overwhelming at first, because it like you're explaining, guys, it's the kind of turn-based but action in between it. It was so hard at the start, and I was kind of just button smashing for the first bit of it, and changing between like Barret and Tifa, the Cloud, was a bit overwhelming, like with the what are they called, the power moves and stuff like that. But once you get into the routine of it, the fights are they're class, especially against the kind of mechs. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, experience so far is all good. Yeah.
Glad you're
the only thing, like, sometimes it's a bit like the introduction of Roach, I think it was.
It's very Japanese.
Very Japanese. And it's kind of like this chap's doing backflips on one wheel. Like, it's just it was a bit like
very anime-esque.
Oh, Dale, you're in for such an amazing experience in a few chapters. I can't wait.
The only complaint, well, I wouldn't even call it a complaint. It's just like the dialogue is really like cheesy.
It's cheesy. Yeah.
No, it is cheesy.
The way I kind of am able to look past it, it's like I'm just referencing that to like 90s humor and like 90s kind of just feel good kind of, oh yeah, let's go type thing. And do you know what it reminded me of, actually? Time Crisis. That was something that kind of kept crossing my head, just with how it moved, like the transition from kind of area to area. So it's like you get a mini kind of cutscene, and it kind of brings out the next group of enemies and stuff. That was the one thing that it reminded me of. But no, really enjoying it so far. So I'm on chapter 6.
While it is very cheesy dialogue, the voice acting is still fantastic, in fairness. Like, it is cheesy. It is, Cloud, we love you, Cloud.
Yeah.
But it's still, the dialogue is excellent.
He's such a dickhead.
Yeah.
Like, half the time I'm like, why are you saying that? Like, just be nice.
Yeah.
Kathy was joking on the couch as well. It was like, every scene he's in, he's just like, where's my money? Give me my money. Do you want to help us? Yeah, just give me money first.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, I wish there was
just keep playing.
A dialogue tracker like that you could kind of spiral it in the way you want to react to it. But no, I'm really enjoying it so far. Kind of the story is edging to explanation every so often as well. So I'm kind of gradually getting to the bigger picture.
Very good, very good.
But, yeah, thanks for leading us on to.
I'm
an
just
amazing-
delighted you're enjoying it.
Same.
I'm over the moon you're enjoying it because I've been at you for nearly a year now to play it.
And I didn't want to like talk to you
know
about
what
it during
they'll
the week
do.
because I just wanted your initial reaction here.
You're the kind of person that the more someone tells you to do something, the more you'll tell them to get fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I'm glad you've
jumped on it.
jumped up, finally accepted it and are playing it. It's good.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like for me, it's like if I saw that game, it would be something that I wouldn't necessarily want to kind of follow myself. But if I kind of see enough about it and hear enough about it and actually give it a chance, it's
Good.
it's really
Delighted.
good.
Very
So,
happy. Very happy. We're
that's
both
that's
very
been
happy.
my week. I've had a full week of gaming.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nice. Kev, what about you? How's your week?
It's all right. I've played Destiny.
We played some Iron Banner the other night,
Yeah. So
Oh, I
from
saw.
since last week, I played a lot of Trials at the weekend. We'll get into that when we're talking about the Witch Queen update. I played a lot of Trials. Too much Trials. Trying to help a couple of people get their Adept hand cannon because it's so juicy. It's one of my favorite guns ever in Destiny. It's fantastic. I'm looking forward to getting a better roll of it. My roll's about 80% of the way there, but if I had a damage perk on it, it'd be chef's kiss.
10 out of 10.
Played a bit of Iron Banner. We played Iron Banner for 5 or 6 hours on Tuesday. We had a 5 stack. It was a 6 stack at them for a while.
We were those guys.
I went looking on Reddit on Wednesday morning to see if there was any posts about us as we won. I think it was 26 out of 28 games or something like that.
Yeah.
We had 12 mercies in a row at the start, but it was
it was like our 13th game. We had 12 mercies and
it
one
was
win.
ridiculous. Like, but we just had a laugh. Like we were just taking the mickey. We were just telling jokes. Nobody was actually sweating, despite it seeming like we were. But we were just having a good time as a group. And wouldn't advise going in not as a group, but it was good.
You would say we're experiencing it the way it's supposed to be experienced, Kev. What?
Yeah, it's
PvP with friends and enjoying it? What?
Imagine.
Not sweating? Jesus.
Also, the master version of the Presage mission came out on Tuesday, I think.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah, reset,
that was
wasn't it?
this week, which was just added difficulty. It added champions, but no one knows where they are. So that added the master work for the scout rifle, Dead Man's Tale. So it was fun running that, and it added a timer to it, made enemies a bit more difficult. But yeah, I've
So
really
does
only
the
played Destiny this week, to be honest.
does the catalyst only drop from the master
The
version?
master, yeah, you just complete
Okay.
the master, you get the
okay.
catalyst straight away. Happy to run it with just whenever you want.
Stephen, you available after this?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I watched Elimination Chamber on Sunday night, which was all sorts of ridiculous because it's wrestling and then it's ridiculous. So we won't get into that because this is a gaming podcast and not a wrestling
Cheesier
podcast.
dialogue than FF7.
Way cheesier. But yeah, that was me. I played Destiny. Did some shiny hunting, as I'm expected to do.
Your weekly reset
My
check-in
weekly
is
count
inbound.
bang on 1,000.
Ooh.
No shiny on Regirock, so we keep going. Yeah, that was me. I did download Outriders. I launched Outriders. I created a character, got to the intro mission, and alt F4 because it bored the hell out of me.
Really?
I'll give it a shot, but
Okay.
The real question, though,
first
is
impression didn't really. It didn't suck me in. So,
Now, was that the gameplay, or was that
I
necessarily...
didn't do any gameplay. The dialogue, the
Oh, really?
cutscenes and dialogue pissed me off that much that I closed the game.
Oh, Jesus.
What was the big question, Stephen?
could you pick Genitals 1 or Genital 2?
It was
Neither.
a cyberpunk reference, Kev.
Well,
Cyberpunk.
look,
No.
if you can't pick Genitals,
It was quite
You're right there.
limited character customization options. Like, it was less than Destiny 1 character customization options. Except
that was
there's
so
beards.
bad.
Except you can make your character have a beard. But like there was 7 or 8 different face types, 7 or 8 different hair types, 7 or 8 different or 5 different skin tones, 5 different eye colors, and then a bunch of like it was very
Minimal.
It was minimal. Like it was very minimal character customization. Except you can have a beard, so people will let them off with that. Yeah, I'll give that a shot, but again, not really.
That's unfortunate because like that's not necessarily even just the demo version because you can bring your character over.
Yeah.
So
So that's
surely they
obviously
have
what it's gonna
everything
be, yeah.
available. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a third person shooter, which I'm generally not a fan of anyway. So my opinion on it really counts for shit. But I'll give it a shot. But I wasn't really sucked in straight away. The dialogue was meh. The voice acting wasn't
I'm gonna
great. The
give it a
voice
shot
acting
during the
wasn't
week.
great from what I played. All 10 minutes of it.
So
Speaking
you're
of
saying
fucking-
Monster Hunter has a better dialogue?
Basically,
than
yeah.
voice acting?
No, it hasn't. It's like Destiny 1 dialogue, to be honest. But yeah, I'll give it a shot, but we'll see. So, while that was all happening and I was downloading Outriders and trying Outriders and actually playing Gambit,
Ooh,
Bungie...
Ugh.
my
We'll,
fave.
we'll move on to the main topic of conversation, which is Bungie dropped some good news, bad news, great news, amazing news. We'll get the bad news out of the way first. And the bad news is that Witch Queen has been delayed until 2022.
Early
Um,
2022.
Early 2022, so probably February.
First quarter. Yeah.
I'd imagine February 2022. We're not going to sit here and read through this update because it is a thesis.
Strongest.
There's a lot in there, but we will discuss it and we have a breakdown. So, Witch Queen is now coming out early 2022 instead of October, November of this year. Which is the only real bad part that they showed off in that update today. And the rest of the update was fairly fucking
Nice.
phenomenal.
So one thing that that's come to mind with the delay, and I think they did allude to it, or they probably said it, but that's another season now, so we'll get another season between the last season, which I think is...
I don't know if they said anything about an extra season.
No. The only extra they mentioned was after Lightfall to kind of culminate the story.
So we're currently in season 13. Season 14 is VOG season. They said there's season 15, which is bringing crossplay. So I think that means season 16 is Witch Queen. So that means that we'll either get an extended couple of seasons, or we'll just have a content gap.
A
maybe?
gap, I think, would be the best in terms of progression wise. Like, why would they force another segment to be pushed out just to fill that gap of 2 to 3 months, possibly? Like this could release in January for all we know. You know,
I have Spinfoil theory hat of what they might do to keep people engaged over that Christmas
Oh,
period.
I know where you're
Kings
going.
fall on the field.
No.
Something
No.
else came out at Christmas
The end of D1.
during Destiny 1.
No, don't do that again.
Prison of Elders.
Sparrow
No.
Racing League.
Sorry.
Oh no!
No,
They
give me
may
Age
throw
of
it in.
Triumph.
They may bring it into the game for a month just to keep people happy as we wait from season 15 to season of Witch Queen. It's possible. But if there's a if there's a content gap, there's a content gap. I'm fine with
Yeah.
it. Because Witch Queen is going to be King's Fall size by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather just fill that gap for, like, for example,
nothing.
just release Iron Banner with every armor set from the whole year, just as random end game drops, and just to keep
There's
people
a lot of things they could do. Yeah.
populated in playlists. You know.
I actually saw, before we get bogged down completely in the Bungie update from today, I saw a fantastic suggestion on Twitter yesterday from, I think it was Pro Superhero. He tweeted out saying, add in the year 1 trials, weapons and gear 2 Prophecy. Release
As in Trials of the
a
Nine.
Grandmaster version of the Prophecy dungeon,
Hmm.
and the reward is the Year 1 Trials gear from Destiny 2. It's a
play it.
phenomenal fucking suggestion. Anyway, we'll move on to talking about this. So, Witch Queen delayed to early 2022. And then after the Witch Queen, we have Lightfall, which was supposed to round off the story of Destiny 2 by the sounds of it. However, they are adding in another expansion after Lightfall. And from reading the update, where is it now? From reading the update on Destiny 2 and adding in the extra chapter almost, it sounds like that's where they're looking to round off the light versus darkness
Yeah.
story. So here's the conclusion of these releases. Witch Queen, Lightfall plus Redacted will conclude the light and darkness saga, the conflict which we first introduced to Destiny many years ago. So that says 2 things really. That says, well, we're getting 3 big expansions as part of Destiny 2, but also they have a future vision for Destiny away from light and darkness, which is exciting.
Really impressive.
And they also, it was Joe
Grott.
Joe Blackburn. I'm right in saying that. Yeah, Joe Blackburn. He says that that our ultimate vision for Destiny 2 still stands. It's the definitive action MMO. So there's that term MMO again.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see where they go with Destiny after Redacted.
And like the way it was worded and phrased really did kind of hit home that this isn't just ending after Lightfall or
it's
the
not.
extended season. This is just it. And I think it mentioned Witch Queen is only phase 1 or something like that.
You have Witch Queen, you have Lightfall, and then you have an extra one.
Yeah.
And
so
they're saying that Destiny 3
will continue.
Destiny 3, Destiny Forever, Destiny Rises.
it's a franchise now, more so than
and
just
they
D2.
are, and it's not ending like a lot of people were worried that it's going to end. So yay!
Yeah, and like that, I was worried that it was going to end, but they've built so many foundations and stories and arcs that it would be a waste to just stop that.
Yeah.
It will be so unfortunate because the material they have to work on now, like the lore is so in depth that they don't even have to think of new stories and new directions to go into the future. If they just want to look to the past for a D3-esque kind of game, like they could build a whole 3-year experience on the Golden Age, you know?
It's exciting. It's really exciting to see where they could go with this.
Yeah.
No, I'm really excited to hear that this has been looked at as a saga. So like all of from 2014 till 2024, 25.
Yeah, 2024.
Have just been a saga of light versus dark.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get something else. And on the foot of the news from last week about them expanding the board and getting in Paramount and Viacom, and like there's so much going on. I'm really excited to see where to go with this.
I'm also super happy for Bungie that it is the success that it is. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. It has its problems, it has its issues, but it's been super successful for them. Fair play to them for sticking with it because they could have anthemed the shit out of it.
Yeah, and like that,
Gronk spike it into fucking oblivion.
It's promising for. I don't want to call them an indie developer, but a smaller kind of company to break away from like the Activisions and the Microsofts and actually thrive. Like it's to me 2 weeks ago, the future of Destiny was like the way that post came out a couple of weeks ago was a bit kind of. It's like they didn't want to tell us that it's going to be slow for the next year, and they didn't want to tell us what was happening. Whereas now, in the space of 2 weeks, it's just turned. Like they're expanding their like physical property by 200%. They're having a European office opening up in 2022. They're expanding into other versions of media. from
and
then onwards.
also with a new IP as well, that's separate
Yeah,
to Destiny
it's
completely.
it's
Yeah.
so positive, and this just reiterates what we saw today, that it's not just going to end with Lightfall. This is literally the start. This is the catalyst for what's to come.
Yeah.
And I'm
Great.
happy not knowing what that is for a while,
Yep.
but just actually knowing that it's coming is enough for me.
We're just gonna play
personally.
as Elixni. That's what's gonna happen.
I've always wanted more arms.
We're
So
gonna be Randall.
why not? I'll be a vandal for a day.
Right. So I think we should break this conversation up into a few different parts because there was a few different parts of the conversation. So I'll kick it off with the part that the three of us care about the most, and that is Vault of Glass is coming in season 14,
Yeah, boy.
15.
14.
Next season.
Next season 14. Too many seasons.
Season summer.
So Vault of
Season
Glass is
fog.
coming out. There is going to be a day one raid race and a world's first, but it's not just going to be the first to complete Vault of Glass because everyone's going to know basically how to do it. So there will be a list of challenges and triumphs you also have to do. I think we'll just be happy with a day one raid completion and a nice new emblem.
100%.
But the part that I really liked from that
Yeah.
announcement, we all knew Vault of Glass was coming, but we're going to be getting master raids, and it's not just going to be Vault of Glass that gets it. It's something they see all raids having from here on out. Thank God.
What
Because
did I
that
say
means-
in episode 2?
I don't know.
What
The
was
audio
needed?
was crap that episode.
That's so nice to hear. That's
But it's
so
great.
nice.
And the nice part of it is that it's not just, here's a harder raid, go do it.
Yeah.
You're going to be getting adept raid gear, adept raid
Mm-hmm.
weapons, and dungeons are also going to be getting them. They call them rads, raids and
Raids
Raids and
dungeons.
dungeons. Yeah.
So that's great because it means we have more reason to do stuff, more gear to get, adept weapons, adept. It's great that they're doubling down on hard content,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is fantastic.
And it's like a perfect balance between here's a normal raid, and then 2 weeks later here's a hard raid. All the population jumps from the normal version of the raid, doesn't play it, and just plays the hard raid because you get the better loot. It's like compared to normal Nightfalls and Grandmasters, like it's that extra gap for you to attain
Mhm.
and still have the regular playlist populated. Because I think that's a problem that when the hard mode of the old raids did release, it was just like the normal version was just left,
Mhm.
and it was just a smaller populated kind of subsection that as soon as the hard one gets released, it's just-
Unless you were like me and didn't get a black hammer from the normal version of Crota, and you had to keep doing the normal version of Crota because it was the only way that you could get black hammer.
the black hammer. But it's a nice way that they're doing it. That
Yeah.
it still makes it relevant as a normal version, and then as the hardcore players, because let's face it, the only people doing like grandmasters and stuff, it's people who are
They're
specking
gonna
into
be
the
hard.
shit out
I
of it.
hope they're fucking hard.
Yeah, so it's not going to be something that's going to be taken on lightly, like a hard raid. You could stick someone in the corner and just say, "Don't die," because
Shoot
we only
wall.
have one token around and shit like that. It's more.
Be the medic.
There's more to it. Yeah, lifeline.
Yeah, no, it's great.
That's towards the end of the year. They said they're releasing that, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
so Vault of Glass is coming next season in season 14, but the master version of it isn't coming until towards the end of the year. But
Yeah.
they did say that with future raids, they will want the master version to release closer to the initial
Like
release of
season
the
same.
raid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so within the first, though, you probably get, say, on the 1st of March, the new raid comes out. On the 1st of April, the master version of it comes out. Or whatever
Yeah.
way you want to talk about it. Yeah.
But that's a nice time scale because we'll have a couple of months playing Vault of Glass, and then
Adept
towards
raid
the end of the
gear.
year, when we're not getting a new raid and it's kind of hitting that kind of plateau area, we have the Grandmaster to attain to.
Well, there's your content drought being addressed as well with the release
Yeah.
of the Grandmaster.
Mm.
So
Yeah. Do you have something else to say,
Positive.
Stephen, there before Dylan came in?
no, I think I'm good to go ahead.
Okay, so moving on from raids and dungeons, which is our probably favorite stuff, Probably the most welcome piece of news in the update was that sunsetting has been sunset.
Yay!
So
Bye, my lover.
it kind of proves, to be cynical about it, it kind of proves a lot of people's point that they only brought in sunsetting to get rid of Mountaintop and Recluse, and
Yeah.
to a further extent Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten. That's
That was at
welcome.
the center of the circle, and they just said, "How can we get reasons to just tell this
Yeah.
to fuck off?"
And I don't mind that they brought in sunsetting, because there's always something to use. The new Trials hand cannon is fantastic.
Yeah.
But it is nice knowing that I can still be using that Trials hand cannon in a year's time if it's
Yeah.
still my favorite gun to be
If you
using,
choose to, yeah.
which is
Yeah.
great.
And like I was on the side of not on the side of Sunset. I don't like the way it's you're either for it or you're against it. I feel like a lot of seasonal gear doesn't get used simply because you had Mountaintop Recluse. Like Seven Seraph rolled around, which is a great submachine gun, didn't get used because of Recluse.
I just
Ekalos
realised-
submachine gun came back, didn't get used because Recluse. And it does kind of it shits on these guys have been developing this for how long of a time. People are crying out for new weapons and gear. They're giving you new gear and new weapons, and you're just overlooking them because it's just easier with a Mountaintop and Recluse.
I just
and it's
realized
not-
that my armor set that I love and has great stats all around won't be sunset now, and I'm very
Nice.
happy about that.
You can transmog it now. But like it
Oh,
is.
don't
It's
start
I didn't like that everything had a time scale. Like
Mm.
Yeah.
and it felt like it was hard work trying to be like, right, what symbol is this season from? How many seasons more do I have of it? Like there's a million other ways that they could have optimized it to make it
Mhm.
not feel as drastic, but reversing it is also a good.
I also just
good
realized
method.
that my Steel Feather repeater is still sunset.
That's such a shit auto
So,
rifle, Kev. I don't know how
I
you use it.
love it, man. It's so good. But just for clarity, so starting in season 14, which is next season, anything that was sunset before season 13 is still gone. Still leave it in your vault, leave it in your collections, it's gone. But anything from season that has not been sunset yet is still going to be usable forever and ever and ever. Until
So
the
Beyond
Cabal
Light
come in.
onwards, basically.
From
isn't it?
Beyond Light onwards, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Which will
until-
include the new Last Wish stuff, won't it? And
Yes.
Shadowkeep.
And Adored and Deep Stone Crypt stuff, everything there. And the Prophecy stuff I'm pretty sure is okay as well.
Yeah,
'cause that
anything
only
that's
came back,
Black
yeah.
Confusion now. Yeah.
It's anything that reached the cap after season 13 is still gone. But anything that did not reach the cap after season 13 is still okay.
Anything post Elixni symbol on your weapons, the little fucking
Yeah.
Varix thing. Logo.
They did say that they still want to look at ways to not force you to use new gear, but to encourage people to use the newer gear. But they accept that capping something at a different power level is not the way forward. Speaking of power level, actually, Stephen, go on, you're going to say something there before I segue into
I was-
something else?
I was just gonna say the thing that upsets me with the sunsetting being sunset is that we're gonna get the tried and true Bungie method, which is nerfs. And
Yeah.
I really hope that they find a way to balance the nerfs. And it's in one later on, and I'll say it there, but around subclasses particularly. So great sunsetting is gone, but I'm worried that we'll go back to what we had before.
Like I think with the main introduction for sunsetting was the outliers were the pinnacle rewards. What they
That
were
was
previously known
definitely
as pinnacles, they're now rituals, and now they're just gone. I think it was more so the perks on them
Yeah.
that
Or broken.
caused the problem. Like it was the Master at Arms. No one was going to sacrifice that because it was just Rampage on
No.
Smack, and nothing ever kind of adhered to that level of efficiency.
Mm.
If you're going into brand new content, you're going to bring that because A, you know it's good, and B, you just know it's gonna shred regardless of the light level drop.
Mhm.
So hopefully that they
I've-
just address that rather than just nerf everything as a whole.
I
Yeah,
will
would rather
say,
see them
sorry,
bring
Steve.
in new perks than like.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the frenzy one at the moment. Like
Yes.
frenzy is Master of Arms, but come off smack. In that, like, if you're using that weapon
It's on
a lot, like
methadone instead. Okay.
yeah.
Mm.
So if you're using the Seven Surf submachine gun, say you have it with it, which most people will be running with, like over time that gets more powerful and more powerful.
Yeah.
And the submachine gun I have at the moment, whatever the primary one is, like that's decent. And with frenzy on, I notice it does a lot more damage over time.
Yeah.
So bringing in stuff like that is the way forward rather than nerfing, and that's where I hope to go.
I will
Like
say,
even introducing. Sorry, Kev, go on.
sorry, I will say that there's no real outliers in terms of weapons at the moment. Like
No.
there's certain archetypes are performing very well. Like 120 hand cannons are very strong right now, but there's no actual just weapon by itself is just ridiculous
Shredding.
in comparison to
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
else. Like even
Yeah.
within 120 hand cannons, you've got bottom dollar, you've got igneous
So good.
hammer, and you've got steady hand that are all very good. But if you're still like, you can still use other stuff as well. But what I will say on perks is that since the launch of Beyond Light, we have got some very good new perks.
Yeah, like outside the box perks.
Reconstruction is brilliant. Like you've
Oh,
got
it's a great one.
9 or 10 shots in a sniper. Like recombination is good.
Yeah.
Frenzy, like Steven said, is very good. And we got a few new perks this season. The one for all one is where if you hit 3 different targets, you get increased whatever range and whatever. So there are some really cool new perks that they have brought in, and hopefully that's how they keep going with this. But just introduce interesting perks that are desirable on guns, and then they won't have to go in with the nerf Fatebringer.
Yeah.
Nerf.
Like if something is getting away from their sandbox of perfection, even if they had like seasonal perks, so you could drop an additional perk on this seasonal weapon that just gets turned off at the end of the season. It's just disregarded, and then you're still left with your Freedom Frenzy Rampage or your auto loading opening shot sniper. You know.
So what Dylan is saying is turn off Desperado at Bungie.
Yeah, Despacito
tweet.
is
Despacito.
crazy.
Yeah, right. So we were talking about power creep and power levels. They're changing how the leveling works. Thank God. So from next season, the power is only going to go up 10 levels per season instead of the 50 that we've been getting. Because it's a fake number and it's stupid. And it means that you have to grind all week to play trials. And then it's stupid. And thanks for turning that off. It's only 10 levels per small season now.
Small expansion.
Which, like, it's fake progression. It's fake content.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they've changed that.
Same,
It's chasing something for no reason, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I went, because I don't play it a lot, so I went last season from 12:57 where I ended straight down to like 12:30 something. I was like, what the fuck? And it's all because of the artifact, and it's a pain in the hole.
You know what annoys me more? That it's not a perfectly round number. Like, why couldn't they just leave it at 1300 this season? Why did they have to go to 1310? Which
That's
means next
because of
season,
the
if they didn't
pinnacle,
change this, it would have been 1360. Why not just bring it to 1350?
So basically, to simplify it, they're getting rid of the soft cap increase each season, and it's just going to be the pinnacle climb. So at the moment, your soft cap or your hard cap is 1300, and then you have your pinnacle climb cap to 1310. So next season, it's going to be that slow climb to 1320, etc., etc. Which is great.
The only thing I'd be worried about is, does this take us back to Black Armory kind of times where the power kind of slowly went up? You'd go up one power level every 2 weeks or so.
I don't think so, for a couple of reasons. The first reason being, we just have so many pinnacle rewards.
Yeah, choices now. Yeah.
So, like, I think there's 12 to 15 pinnacles each week. And secondly, we've got artifact power, which will make it seem like you're climbing more than you actually are.
Yeah, yeah.
So 30 and 20 is the cap next season, but we'll have 30 and 40, 30 and 45 Guardians because the artifact power adds an artificial climb.
Yeah.
As
See,
well.
that's another thing. Like, to me, that's a disregarded number as well. Like, I like the artifact for what it is
I
and
don't.
what it provides, but like some of the perks, I just wish they were in the loot pool as it is.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
sniper rifle reloader. Like, why isn't that like a generic for this season? It's only going to cost 1 rather than 4. You know,
That's what
but
they do.
take away that plus.
Just that is what they do. So sniper rifle loader is usually 5 or 6, but for
Yeah.
this season they do it where it's only.
Oh yeah,
costs
in
you
the
1.
yeah. But I'd rather have that in the loot pool as a drop.
Oh, that's fair
So
enough, yeah.
if you complete an activity, you're like, holy shit, I dropped. Only costs 1.
Yeah.
Whatever it is to upgrade it.
That could
but-
be an interesting mod actually. That it brings down the cost of
I can't think of the name
energy.
of it.
The energy cost for a mod.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That-
Yeah,
that's an interesting idea actually.
but I just
Have
don't
it in
like
your
that.
Grandmaster
The
or
the
something.
RPG player is coming out with them. Success.
But it's one of those things that it's like, what's your light level? I'm 1250. No, what are you without artifact?
Yeah.
It's like, why is that even a
I
thing?
I
man?
don't like it. I've never liked
Yeah.
it personally, but it seems like it's here to stay for the moment. But it's
Yeah,
something
like-
that I don't like anyway personally. But I just get on with it.
I like the way it's locked into a season. So like Nightfalls, if you have stasis grenades, it'll stagger an enemy. Next season, it'll be like arc grenades or
I
solar
missed that
grenades.
part.
I like those little things, but
Yeah.
as a whole, I just feel like it's
Anyway,
It is
we
what
need
it
to
is.
keep moving on
Yeah,
because
go on.
it's 10 to
11
10.
minutes.
Jesus.
So we were going to do a discussion today, 15, 20 minutes, just on our trials experience from last weekend. I'd say my experience, I'll touch on it real quickly. My experience on Friday and Saturday was fun, great. But as we got into Sunday evening and Monday, it became very sweaty because there was a lot of cheaters. That's my
and
experience
unfortunately, I came in on Sunday.
on Sunday. So I
Oh,
think,
no.
but I will say, despite all the bullshit and all the crap, I still enjoyed it. And that's the most annoying thing, that while I was getting a bit pissed off, I was still enjoying myself, which means
Yeah.
we're going to play it again next week. But so we'll have to do our trials, impressions, and feelings on that again. But in the Bungie update today, they talked about how they are going to be changing how subclasses are working in PvP. They're talking about sandbox changes, talking about nerfs to stasis and bringing stasis more in line with the light subclasses, both with stasis nerfs and light subclass buffs, which is great. It needs to be brought in line. But they also talked about, and this is really what I was suggesting for trials, was increase the way, or improve the loot system. So they spoke about that at length in... I can't find it now.
Well, it was
But
in
yeah.
the second half, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's down below somewhere. So the
It's under the title of Angels and something.
Angels of Death. Yeah.
That's it.
So season 15, they're looking at, where is it gone? So they actually, before I get to that, they are nearly doubling the size of their Bungie game security team, which is hopefully going to help with reduce the amount of cheating,
Yeah.
etc., etc. They've doing surveys and they've become more aggressive strategy with legal action against cheat developers. But the good news in terms of actual trials itself was they're looking at overhauling the reward structure, which I think needs to happen. Getting a reward at win 3, win 5, win 7. It's not it doesn't incentivize people to keep on playing all weekend. So for instance, last week the Messenger was at win 3. Everyone just did 3 wins and pissed off out of the playlist. Whereas if they can they're looking at rebuilding the reward structure to encourage more players to stick to their active cards longer. And I think that's the big thing, is encouraging people to stay on an active card, so you don't just win 3 games, reset. Win 3 games, reset.
Yeah.
So encourage people to stay in the playlist longer, because if you increase that population, you
Win-win
reduces
for
the
everybody.
it reduces the overall percentage of cheaters in there.
Yeah.
So they also did look at giving solo players opportunities to participate in it regularly. Which I know, Stephen, that's something that you'd welcome, because you'd like, I can go in, get a few games in there, get a bit of loot, and get out, and not feel like I'm holding anybody back, which is the exact phrase you used for me.
I'm holding people back, but I don't know them, so I don't care about them.
Exactly. Stephen, I hold Kev back all the time. It works, okay? Just go along with it.
It just works.
It's just physics.
Yeah, I think matchmaking changes and loot reward structure changes are a fantastic start. And if you bring them in line with subclass balancing and maybe a bit of a weapon balancing, hopefully it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
We'll see. They're also looking at Iron Banner as well to change how Iron Banner's reward structure works, which is again welcome at this point because it has gotten a bit stale.
It's all positive. Like it's not necessarily an answer for people, but it's more like we're progressing to an outcome that will be positive to both of us, you know?
Yeah. And then quickly, the other things in PvP where tree peeking will be fixed.
Yes.
See, tree peeking isn't something that I have ever had a big issue with, but it is a big issue because everybody does it. People have swords on, people are emoting around corners, and it just leads to a more passive style of play. So it is an issue.
It slows it down completely, doesn't it?
I just tightened them, punched them in the face.
That's always the answer.
Shoulders.
Always the answer. Yeah. Big shoulders.
And then, not related to PvP, but the player base in general, is we're finally getting crossplay, and they have been smart about it. They're not going to match PC and console players together in the Crucible.
I disagree that that's smart, but whatever.
Yeah,
it's smart.
I disagree with matching PC players with PS4 and Xbox players to an extent, because lower frame rate and lower FOV.
Yeah.
However, next gen consoles can run at 60 FPS and 120 FPS in the Crucible, and they have that increased FOV. There is no advantage to playing on PC compared to console. And if you say input method is an advantage, you're wrong. Because we have Benji is one of the best PvP players I've seen play the game, and he uses a controller.
No, I would argue the opposite, that you have the advantage on controller because you've got aim assist.
But we already have that. We already have that on PC where there is aim assist on controllers. So anyway,
true.
That's just the way matchmaking works from PC to console in nearly every game. So I'm not surprised they did that.
But I'm really happy to see crossplay coming in because there's a group of players that I left behind on PS4. And
do they need a clan?
They're in a clan, but I will bring them in.
I've a ton of friends on console that it just means you can go, oh, we need one for a raid. Oh, there's no one on PC. Check PlayStation.
Yeah. And as you said, with the new generation consoles being 60 frames per second, no one's going to suffer. Like, you'll all have a great raid experience.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Stompies aren't going to be the be-all and end-all anymore. I can't look up.
Anyway, couple of other things that they talk about was Transmog is finally coming next season.
Yes.
It's great that Transmog is coming. I'm not sure the way they're doing it is the best way, because you need to get materials from doing bounties or buy it with real life money. But that's a big discussion for another day. It's good that it's coming, but
we also need to see how they implement it.
You need to see how it's implemented. Yeah, you might get a shit ton of those materials, and it won't be an issue if you're.
They could be like Umbrella engrams.
Yeah, if you're a dedicated player.
Players even get them. Like veteran players might get a load at the start, and then over time it's like you're back in where new players are.
Here's the trade-off: can I buy those materials with legendary shards, please?
Because I've got a shit ton in the back.
I've got 18,000 sitting there. So
wow.
Yeah, it's
I've
crazy.
Like 4.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Anyway, other part of the transmog thing coming was nice is that shaders are now going to be a permanent thing that you don't need to have in your inventory at all times. They are just you unlock a shader, you have it in your collection, and you can apply it to your gear whenever you want. Thank God.
That's
needed.
refreshing because
Yeah.
the amount of times I have a shader that I just keep one of because I'm like, I just want to be reminded that it's there. It's an option for me. If I like it on a certain gear set, that I just go into my collections and pull it. Whereas now it's just it's much nicer.
Yeah.
We've got 11 minutes and 20 seconds before the show starts, FYI, so it doesn't start till 10
Oh, have you got
past.
the stream? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's 11 minutes till it starts, so we've got a bit of time to chat. Couple of other things they touched on, just to wrap it up, was that Ikora is going to become more prominent again. She's been a bit of a forgotten figure in the tower as of late. So
You know she's only coming back to get a bullet in the head, yeah.
No, she's going to Nova Bomb first. She's definitely going to Nova Bomb.
She has to Nova Bomb a
She
Cabal
will.
Thresher first. Yeah.
in the forehead.
So last couple of things they really talked about was that in Beyond Light they introduced stasis subclasses. We all know about it. However, in season 15, so not next season, the season after that, we are going to start getting legendary stasis and power weapons. And I've got chocolate on my hand.
I completely skipped past that bit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So it's right down the end. So
Yeah.
in season 15, we will introduce our first round of legendary stasis, energy, and power weapons.
Nice.
There will be a lot more info on this in the fall. So that's really nice that they're doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see how that goes.
Like
Maybe.
it's the way they said primary, secondary, and heavy. It doesn't necessarily mean like it's just another flavor of a weapon. That it's not going to do anything different. It's going to have solar bullets or arc bullets or void bullets against shields. Whereas this sounds like it's actually going to have more of an effect in game rather than just to a certain extent.
We'll see.
I reckon
guess.
we're getting stasis powered enemies, and that'll be a shield type. That's definitely
that would be the best kind of matchup.
I think that's
for
my
it.
one worry, is that they just treat it the way Solar, Void, and Arc
Yeah.
are treated. And it's just,
Here's a new
ooh,
shield.
there was an
Yay.
effect when they died, rather than...
what was that
actually
grenade
you're
launcher
shooting.
called? Remember the one that came out in Beyond Light?
Salvation
Witherhoard?
Yeah, Salvation Script.
Salvation
Salvation Script. Like that had a
Yeah.
pure stasis effect.
Yeah, it was
which
fantastic.
was great,
Yeah.
but it kind of fell off the face of the earth.
It's
really
fun
quickly.
to use, but... Yeah,
But that's
I
just
can
like
just see it
the
being...
opening for.
I can just see it being, you shoot ice-colored bullets at them, and when they die, they shatter. But
Yeah.
it's still nice that we're going to have that. And then
Yeah,
the very
it's
last
very
point in there was that they talked about from season 14, phase 2 of Gilded Titles will roll out. They showed a nice picture of how it works, and it's going to be that when players guild a title, you'll see how many times they've done that previously, which is kind of cool.
It's cool, but at the same time, I would like Gilded Titles to maybe be a little bit harder and stick around for the long term.
Yeah.
Like the Gambit one is what I'm going for this season, the Dredgen Gilded,
Mm-hmm.
and it's straightforward. It is really straightforward. It's just it'll take a couple of weeks to do it, but at the same time, if I only looked at a different seal towards the end of the season, I get my Gilded, and then I don't get to show it off the next season unless I do it again, and then it'll have a number associated with it. You know, that's my only thing with them. But I like it that
Fair
they're
enough.
kind of reinvigorating older seals and titles.
Okay, before we move on, because that is really the end of it, is there anything either of you would like to say on top of all we've spoken about in terms of Destiny Witch Queen? Stephen, you look deep in thought. Do you have
I'm
anything
just
else
reading-
you'd like to just touch on just before we move on from this?
I was just reading through the TLDR. I will just say what I said before, which is Bungie have a history of overpromising and under-delivering. So these are all welcome changes. I just hope that 80 to 90% of them actually come true.
Mhm.
Because there's some really there's some stuff there that I'm taking a long time coming. So I hope they do it. I hope they land it. I really hope they do, but I'm tempering my expectations ever so slightly.
Yeah.
Dill, you went?
No, to be honest, it's all positive with me. It reinforced another chance at PvP for some people. Vault of Glass Master is right on top of my list for things to look forward to towards the end of the year.
Stasis Fatebringer.
Transmog is gonna be great. Just to like raid gear for me is like the pinnacle of my achievements in the game. I love just that feeling of completing a raid set. So with Transmog being able to
Mhm.
reintroduce that into my constant day-to-day wear in the tower and regular armor and shit is really good. Other than that, no, it was nice and positive. But like that, I'm happy that they're delaying it until 2022 early because I'd rather them and I think everyone's on the same page now at this stage with Bungie. They'd rather them take those extra couple of months to perfect it rather than just churn it out and wait for updates or we're looking into it type thing. We're
Mhm.
listening. So yeah, no, really happy with it.
Yeah, same. I echo all that. I echo what both of you said. In that, yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy they're delaying because it needs to happen. It was always going to happen, but I'm
Yeah.
happy that what we're getting is going to be great. And also they do have a history of promising big, and then they bring it out in a weird way that pisses everybody off. However, there's one
Like
line
Seasons.
in it, like Seasons. There's one line in the update that I just noticed that I missed the first time round, and the direct quote is that direct player versus player competition is essential in Destiny as an option to express mastery of your Guardian and showcase the strength of your arsenal against other players. So hopefully that does mean that we are going to get dedicated PvP improvements, because
Yeah.
I love Destiny, I love the PvE side of it, I love doing the raids, but like, you know, I played a lot of PvP, so having
Yeah.
a solid PvP experience back in my favorite game would be great. Also,
Yeah.
we just got a twab.
Yay. And
Uh,
that will be kept for next week.
That will be kept for next week.
I
Anyway,
will
we
just throw out
have
there before we move on.
4 minutes.
Fatebringer in stasis. Imagine Firefly, but as stasis fly.
Oh, it'd be
That'd
amazing.
Awesome.
What would
I'd
you
want
call
that.
it? What
You'd
would
be
you
like
call
that
it?
dude out of Mortal Kombat, just going.
Maybe we'll get a stasis icebreaker.
Because it's ice.
Because it's
breaker.
ice. And it would actually cause
I
that
missed
shatter
that.
effect. That'd be
I
incredible.
miss that weapon
Do it,
so
Bungie.
much.
Do it, you cowards. Anyway,
People give
Um,
out so much about Revoker that I do not want Icebreaker to come back into
no,
the game.
it needs a totally different perk if it comes back. It can't have the regen ammo perk. Just know.
Yeah.
What if Icebreaker is both stasis and solar? You fire one stasis bullet
A
and
primer
then one
kind of thing.
solar bullet to pop. So you
Or-
freeze with stasis, explode with fire. Ah! Do it!
That could
do
work.
it!
But what if the regeneration was brought in, but the only way to regen the ammo was to get kills with stasis abilities or solar abilities? So you could
could
regen the ammo, but you would have to get the kills with
Mm.
a grenade or
See, that I wouldn't have a problem with having to do something to regen ammo. You should not be just gifted free ammo. Anyway,
Yeah.
we have 3 minutes. I will start streaming this into the server now in a second. However, before I do that, we will do quick fire on some of the news. The big news today was, of course, on Bungie's Witch Queen, the Road to Witch Queen update we've talked about. EA, Jason Schreier put out this evening that Dragon Age 4 is no longer a multiplayer
live service.
live service
basically.
experience. Dragon Age is pivot to a single player experience.
The way it always has
The
been.
way it always has
Yeah.
been, and that's mainly due to the success of Jedi Fallen Order and the failure of our recently deceased again Anthem.
Rip Anthem.
And
Which-
the
which
last
is-
bit of sorry, go on.
I'm just saying, like,
You have
it's
2
great.
minutes.
I think people just try, like, until Fallen Order came out, it's like people forgot that single player games were
Mhm.
desired by a certain, like, demographic of
EA
people.
forgot. EA forgot.
Yeah, and it's not everything has to be a multiplayer competitive game to be enjoyable. Like, Anthem as a single player game probably would
Could
have
have
been
been great.
fantastic.
Could have been great.
Yeah.
And I
You
think
know?
that's what Outriders is going to be. It's not a single player, but it's not a game as a service. It is there's
Yeah.
an A, there's a B. You can play it with your friends or by yourself, but here's
Yeah.
the experience. And I think that it will have despite how I feel about that sort of game, third-person shooter is not really for me. I do think that will actually find success, despite me shitting on it
Yeah.
about 57 minutes ago. Last bit of news before this starts in 1 minute is that there is a Pokemon Presents tomorrow. It's not a Pokemon Direct, so it's not just going to be
Which
for
is
Nintendo
good.
Switch stuff. It's tomorrow, 3 p.m. UK time / Irish time. So hopefully we get some juicy announcements and not a Let's Go version of Diamond and Pearl. It is about 20 minutes long, so that is going to be
Promising.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's
Stream,
1
baby,
minute.
stream.
It's
Get it going.
1 minute until this begins. I need to unmute the site. And there is some music coming in now. I
I'll
will
be back in 2
share
seconds.
that in. And there we have it. Can you hear that okay?
It's
There's a little bit of
sharp.
music playing.
Yeah. And if you are listening or watching along, don't forget we have our bingo cards up on Twitter. Come play along, see who got the most right. Or see, did you get anything right yourself?
Okay, here's
There's
the
a-
issue. I can't
Uh-oh.
stream that in unless I exit full screen.
It's fine. People don't need to see us.
No, people... Oh yeah, people don't need to see us.
See us at the side, won't they?
That is annoying. Yeah, when I go full screen, it won't allow me to do it. Anyway, what are you looking for here, Stephen?
Here's hopefully 16 and 7
There's some very unexpected developments in
Crash
your future. Shocking
Oh,
events
Crash.
that will change the course of your life.
That last part might have been a hair dramatic, but there's lots of awesome updates and additions
Okay,
coming
now.
to the Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time experience
No,
on
keep going away.
PlayStation 5. Hey everyone, I'm Lou Studdard, creative producer
Yeah,
at Toys
it's
for
not
Bob.
working.
I'm here to give you the feature rundown on Crash Bandicoot 4 on PS5. That includes 4K at 60 frames per second, adaptive triggers, 3D audio, and more.
Let's make this fun.
Picking up where Crash Bandicoot Warp left off, in Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time, we find the evil masterminds Neo Cortex and Dr. Entropy
Unfortunately, can't make it
escaping
full screen
a
or
once
it
thought
kicks it out with the
inescapable
thing.
interdimensional prison, leaving giant holes in the universe. What follows is a mind-bending adventure.
Stephen,
for
have you got
Crash
the
and his
active
marsupial
bingo
pals.
cards ready?
Oh yeah, we're playing bingo.
Design Crash Bandicoot 4 to
Yeah.
leap off your screen, brimming with
get mine
bold,
up.
vibrant environments and characters.
Can't wait for Pokemon Snap.
Crash Bandicoot has always looked pretty suave. But wait until you see him spinning heads in native 4K at 60 frames per second. With the weight of the universe on your shoulders, and probably some errands to run, there's little time to wait on loading screens. The DualSense wireless controllers bring adaptive triggers to your fingertips, so you can feel the blast of Neo Cortex's DNA-changing ray gun, or feel the grip when you grapple a Tun's hookshot. Hold on tight when you feel the boost.
I
of
hope
Crash's
this isn't
jetboard,
included as one of
and
10
really feel
games.
the suck when you vacuum.
Yeah,
his
we
game
have several
Looking to get
PS5
fully
upgrades.
immersed
Still
in the
has it
Crash
there.
Bandicoot universe.
Yeah.
Crank it up to 11.
That's only
Take
one.
audio into an
That's not several. That's only one.
3D audio.
Give me the multiple.
And in fairness, Kev, you had
Achieving the
texted me
infamous
Crash, but I didn't put it
106%
in.
Completion is the sign of a true
You would give me like
Bandicoot
13
master.
suggestions.
I
But
did,
should
I
our
cheated.
genetically mutated marsupial lose
There's
his
less
way,
Final Fantasies than that.
leverage PlayStation 5 activity cards
No,
to
there's
track
not.
your progress.
It's not
Hit
actually.
your goals
I know, I
with
was
things like
making a
time
joke.
trials,
No, you weren't.
flashback levels,
Shut up,
and
Steve.
boss fights. I bet
Can they just
Entropy
partner
pushes the
with
edge.
like
You
xCloud
bring your
and
incomplete
Game
save
Pass?
over from the PlayStation 4 and use the activity cards to get to 106%. Oh, and one more thing. If you own the PS4 version of the game, an upgrade option is available. Check out the PlayStation blog for full details. Whether it's your first playthrough or your 100th, there's no better time to experience Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time on PlayStation 5.
Hey, you get something else now, please.
Welcome back, Crash. The gang's all here on today's new edition of State of Play. We've got some great updates lined up for you.
Oh, what's going on?
First, let's check out The latest on an eagerly anticipated
doing
game
that?
coming
There
to
we
the PS5 console this spring.
Oh,
from
do you remember
PlayStation
when this
Studios.
got announced?
Eternal, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, we at Housemark are excited to give you this sneak peek at Returnal.
Yeah, dude, I was saying to Steven, I can't go
In
full
Returnal,
screen. It
you will
goes
play
weird.
as Celine, an
Yeah, it's
Astra
cool.
scout who crash
Fine,
lands
bro.
on an alien
try
planet,
it.
Atropos, after receiving a mysterious signal, White Shadow.
Yeah, it keeps blacking out in Discord
Players
on
will
me.
explore this
That's all good.
inscrutable, dark planet in search
I
of
think it's because I've
answers
got
and
what you call it
untold
open?
mysteries, which may
OBS.
point to a larger
OBS.
force at play. Dashing and quickly maneuvering your way above and around enemies is key to survival in Returnal.
We didn't see any gameplay of this.
No, we
At the
didn't see any
first one, did
gameplay.
No.
Yeah.
It's different to what I
Third-person
expected.
shooter. Yeah. Ugh.
It reminds me of Anthem.
A little bit, yeah.
And there's the
large
Matrix
variety of
octopus.
enemies and the vast number
Yeah.
of unique movesets each possess.
The Flesh version.
Combat situations prove challenging no matter what the circumstances are. Death is only the beginning.
Personally, I like to look at that.
Same.
Every time you
I'm
die
really
and
not a fan
restart,
of third
the
person.
world will change. The map will be different, enemies will appear in new locations and in differing numbers, so you have to think fast and adapt. Here you can see the use of the lightning alt-fire, which is great for crowd control. This is one of many alt-fires that you can acquire in the game.
I like how sporadic the enemies look. So it's not
Enemies
just
are
your
very
generic duck and cover.
Do you know what, Dale? I actually get what you're saying about Anthem, the shooting and
You will
the
stumble across mysterious
the effects when
devices
you
that
hit
can
it.
grant
It's
rewards to
very
the
Yeah.
player.
Anthem.
These will vary
Even
from
the
weapons,
UI.
consumables, and upgrades,
very, yeah.
and they can completely change.
Who
the
developed this
playstyle
again?
While they're
and
showing
make
this
each
off,
cycle feel unique.
I would not put my
Besides
dick
the
in that.
intense combat, Returnal
I
also
would,
has
it
a
feel
deep
good.
and engaging
For a little bit
narrative.
until you lose
We
it.
allow players to piece together the puzzle that is the story of Celine as they venture deeper and deeper into Atropos
Celine Dion.
and into her
Does
personal
she always
life.
love us?
That can't be here.
Yes.
I think I am reliving my memories in that house, but not fully. They're corroded. Some parts are missing, others seem manufactured. But I can remember the torment, feeling like I was losing my mind.
So I thought this was a space exploration. Is this like a memory kind of?
Well, I knew this was a Dark Souls-y type game with the difficulty and deaths, but
Exactly as
I
I
thought it was
left it.
more action-y, not shootery.
That looks really promising to me. That's definitely going on my list.
Yeah, I'll wait until reviews.
Returnal
fail,
lands
but-
on April 30th, and it's developed by the talented team at Housemark. Next, let's take a closer look at a high-impact new PS4 game called Knockout City.
Oh yeah, so fun! We saw
We all
this
had
on the
that on
Nintendo
air,
Direct,
yeah.
didn't we?
Hi, I'm Josh from Bellin Studios.
I appreciate
We're
that there
indie
is an
developer
audience
based
for
in
these kind of
upstate New
games
York,
out there,
and we recently announced
But it's not
Knockout
us.
but
City,
at the same time,
a
it's
team-based
yeah.
multiplayer action game for PS4 where rival crews settle their scores with epic dodgeball battles. Knockout City is easy to pick up and play, but there's a lot of depth here for those who've got the skills. In our 1v1 face-off mode, you'll go head-to-head in a constantly shrinking
gonna
battle
be a
ground, relying
PS
on
Plus
your
game on
reflexes and
launch.
abilities to knock out
Yeah,
your
it
opponent.
has to be.
A well-timed
It's what was
jab
that
powers up the ball,
phone
making it
game
easier
a
to
couple of
land
years ago,
hits.
Subway Riders or something?
Use trick shots to lob a ball over
Remember
a
where
ledge or
you're
hook
running
it
down
around
like
corner.
a temple run, but
Fake a throw
in the
to
streets
mess up your opponent's timing and
of,
knock them
like,
out
a
before
city.
they can recover. When you're in a tough spot with a ball flying your way, a last-second dodge is the
Just the
difference between
aesthetic.
getting knocked out and staying in the fight. Keep your wits about you and
Watch us,
outplay your
we're all
opponent to
very
bring home
wrong,
the
and
win.
this game's gonna go fucking gangbusters.
Yeah.
it's basically a
Let's jump
PvP
into
shooter game
TKO,
for
our
kids.
3v3 mode.
Take the guns out of it. Let's put
Teamwork makes the dream
dodgeballs
work in
in.
Knockout City. If your crew is outmatched, a well-coordinated team can still
It's priming them for their life cycle of Call of
Playing in
Duty.
Back Alley Brawl, a new map that you'll find in our upcoming crossplay beta. The special ball.
A
for this
new
is
map?
Sniper,
They're all
which
fucking
locks
new.
onto
We've
targets
never played on them
across
before.
the map. You can take them out before they have a chance to react.
You mean Jimmy426 hasn't played the beta last year?
In Back Alley Brawl,
I appreciate the ragdoll effects when you die, though.
Use them to sneak up on
They're
your
always
I mean,
appreciated.
it's a very colorful, pretty
Caught
game.
empty-handed, you can literally
but
become
not
the
for
ball,
me.
a new weapon
Yeah.
for your teammate.
You can become the ball.
Don't risk it all. Charge up a teammate,
My God.
launch them high into the air with an ultimate throw, and they'll land in a
I mean,
huge
that's always been my goal in life.
There's
To
a
become
Titan
a ball?
Dash and dodgeball.
The team here
It's not accurate and not everyone froze around
over
them.
the last 4 years. Knockout City is coming out May 21st, and we'd love your help in our final stretch of development. Rally your crew and sign up for our crossplay beta at knockouttcity.com.
It's got
to play early on
crossplay, which is
PlayStation.
cool.
See you soon, brawlers.
Yeah.
Anything that has crossplay automatically gets a +1.
It does.
Yeah.
Like, it's the new always live, always consistent thing.
Time
Come on,
for
give us
something
So
something
far,
cool.
we've
Here's
all
your
been a bit
first
wrong.
look at an upcoming PS5 game from the team at Slow Clap.
Don't know what slow clap is.
Never heard of slow clap. I've heard of the action, just not the.
See that? It's cinematics captured on PC.
Oh wow.
It's first person Pokemon.
This is a PS1 game that just never got brought up to standard.
I mean, that combat looks quite decent, to be fair.
They looked at the Daredevil scene and went, "Can we
I
make
was
this game?"
literally about to say, this is the Daredevil scene from season 1.
Why is he beating up Keanu Reeves?
I wish my beard grew like that when I got knocked out.
Now, was that overnight or was that like a coma sleep?
That's his special ability.
To be honest, I actually like the art style. I just don't like the way it's delivered.
So is this
The combat is very Spider-Man, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's very like zoomed in the whole time. It doesn't seem like there's a differential between
That was
out
the
of combat and
debut
in
of
combat.
Safety
It's just
coming
like
to the
you're
PS5
constantly zoomed
console
in.
later this year.
I like the art
Now
style
let's
though.
get an update on Solar Ash, an epic new PS5 adventure from Heart Machine.
Breaking my heart here, Sony.
Could we not
Wow.
get an update on Solar
nothing
Ash?
just to be worse than the Nintendo Directs, but we're getting there.
That has a high pedestal for being the worst.
Imagine the Pokemon Presents tomorrow is even worse again.
Don't say that, Kev.
Oh,
Do
stop.
not say that.
Do not tempt fate.
What was that Magikarp game that came out for phone?
I will
Magikarp
release
Jump.
a shiny Kyogre on you right now, Kev.
Jump
Director.
higher.
You might know us as the team behind Hyperlight Drifter. Today, I'm here to show you the first peek at gameplay for our new title, Solar Ash.
Again, I like the art style, but
Solar Ash is a huge, stylish 3D platformer focused on speed, movement, and fluidity. The game is set inside a giant black hole known as the Ultra Void, which has been consuming everything.
spoiler alert, Matthew
Plays
McConaughey
Ray,
is the final
a daring
boss.
Void Runner who has decided to venture into
Just
the
sitting there
Pokemon
crying in the
anomaly
seat.
as a
Can
last
you guys hear that,
step
by the way?
to save her home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray is extremely agile, able to speed across the world with abilities.
Is it Ray Skywalker though?
On the Ashen Clouds,
Or Ray Palpatine?
quickly cover
Ray
great
Palpatine, yeah.
distances in our huge world.
Spoiler.
At its
It's actually
core,
Noxious
Solar
Skywalker.
Ash is
Spoiler.
about movement, and Ray has everything she needs to flow through the dangerous and unique world.
It's a very nice looking game.
Once
As you
again,
journey to
while I
save your
appreciate
planet, you
the
find yourself
audience
face
that
to
these
face with
guys
grotesque and violent creatures. Our combat system is
develop for,
simple,
it's just not
fast,
for me.
and fluid, built to empower players. and
It's
expose
3D Ori.
As you explore
I was
the
literally gonna say, it reminds me of Ori, yeah.
It's a full 3D action Ori game.
Some of these creatures require
Just
speed
the
and precise
textures and
timing
the
to defeat.
colors on it.
Ray will eventually need to face the massive
Oh, hey, it's Breath of the Wild.
void. Wretched, starved
all thought that,
beasts
really,
that
didn't
hold
we?
the key to her quest.
Ray's Breath of the Wild.
Nintendo called. They want their Zelda game back.
And I want
Doesn't
the
it-
Seal Lahamkara
It doesn't
grasps that are
remind-
gonna
yeah,
be falling
yes.
off that.
It's
Ash's Heart Machine's vision for
Zol.
adventure
Zol got
platform.
a bone shield.
Zal got armor.
Combat,
Zal got
stakes
armor.
battles atop enormous beasts.
Zal still got fucked up.
It doesn't remind me of Zelda, really.
And more
No, it's just the dragons going around.
Yeah,
but actually, it reminds you of Shadow of the Colossus.
is a labor of
That's
love.
what that.
That's
boss
what I was
looks
gonna say. It actually, I wasn't gonna say Shadow of Colossus. I was gonna say somewhere between Journey and Shadow of Colossus.
like. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a PS Vita game that needs to
If
come
you're a
out on the
fan
base
of
console. It's
scary
just the PS
games,
Vita's
this
dead.
next one
Nope.
is for you.
No scary. No
Scary
scary.
games.
No.
It's Resident Evil, isn't it?
No, it's Freddy's, isn't
Five
it?
Nights at Freddy. For fuck's sake.
My little brother loves that.
That's how we're gonna get a Silent Hill. That's how I was gonna get one.
You stay silent on that hill, Stephen. I don't need to be scared. It's dark
That's the hill I'm
outside.
gonna die on.
This is a massive franchise, though.
No,
I
it's
don't think
massive.
we understand
Yeah,
how
yeah,
big it
humongous.
actually is.
It's humongous among like your brother's generation.
Yeah, like
For clarity, Dill's brother is like 20 years younger than him.
he's 10. Yeah, he's 10.
Is he?
Well, he's actually, I wasn't.
Yeah,
He's
my brother's
18,
nice.
19 years younger. Holy.
And he's got more balls than you playing this game.
He's got teddies and everything in his room with this game.
That's just tempting fate.
I remember years ago he used to watch it on YouTube because he couldn't play it, but he used to have to like watch it on like a different account and not his own because obviously parental guidance and stuff like that. But he'd get nightmares and everything from it, so like he'd wake up like sweating and stuff, but he couldn't tell my mom that it was because of Five Nights at Freddy's.
I love how intelligent.
But apparently there's like a huge like lore behind it.
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah.
Like he tried to break it down for me one day, and I was just like, "There's so much to take in."
Bazinga.
Like, hold on, get a bite video on that, will you?
Well, I love how intelligent kids are, and
Oh, yeah.
parents don't realize how fucking intelligent their kids actually are.
It's just a complete like, you could tell they grew up with internet, and the parents didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel. I feel bad for like children of our generation.
Oh yeah, they're
Our
fucked.
generation's kids. They'll get away with nothing. Not nothing, but they'll have to be very creative to get away with their things. I mean, I'm sure our
So,
parents. I'm sure
is
our
this an
parents thought the
expansion?
exact same.
Is this an expansion or is this a new
That was
game?
a chilling
New
new
game.
look at Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
Yeah, probably an expansion.
Up next, let's take a tour of Oddworld.
Yes.
They've been rolling this fucking game out for the last 2 years. Just release it already.
I'm Lauren Lanning,
Comes out soon.
at Oddworld.
I used to play this on PS1 with my uncle,
Abe's
and it
Odyssey.
used to always freak the shit out of me.
They've always known you would come.
I love Oddworld.
Do you know why you have?
Do you know who he sounds like? He sounds like, remember the video at the Spire with the smackhead? And saying,
Oh,
"Ah,
yeah.
Felix
I
Athletic."
hear
in an effort to escape the all-powerful and eternally greedy Gluckins. We really wanted to bring this world to life with
Like,
what
the
we
story
call
in this is so
0.9
dark.
platforming,
Yeah.
which adds much more depth and immersion for the
Like, they're
player.
basically
This
harvesting
sense of
their
connection is
people
also
for slaughter.
reinforced through the use of the dual senses haptic feedback, as you'll now be able
I mean,
to
that
feel Abe's
doesn't
heartbeat in
appeal to
high-alert
everybody,
and
but
suspenseful situations.
I wouldn't be that very
There are well
interested
over
in
1,000
Oddworld
fellow
now, to be honest with
Mudokons
you.
that you must try to save
yeah,
along
it's
the
it's
way.
it's like a
They are
glorified
far
side
more
scroller,
than
to be
helpless
honest.
workers looking to be saved. When used effectively, you'll be able to
I wouldn't
solve
have
puzzles, harness their
presumed
combined
there
energy,
was that
and
big
be
of
given the
a
tools they
kind
need
of
to fight
anticipated
alongside
player
you.
base for this.
And there will be times when the
I would have
extra
thought that
hands
was
will
one
be
of those
needed as you face
early
off against
PlayStation
an
Life
array of
games
heavily
that
armed
just
enemies that will stop
fell.
at nothing to find and end Abe
To be
once
fair
and
to whatever they're called, Oddworld inhabitants,
In order to stand a
like
chance
the work they
against
put
this much larger
into
threat,
New and
we gave
Tasty
Abe the
is
ability to scavenge,
amazing.
loot, and
Into
pick
which,
up
sorry?
items
New
from
and
his
Tasty.
New and
surroundings
Tasty,
and
the
use them to
original
craft
Oddworld
an
game when they
impressive
remastered it.
arsenal of his own
Okay.
that he can share with
It's
others.
really well
Like, I
done.
played that back in
You can also
1997.
play as a non-lethal pacifist or an
whenever it came out. I
1997.
played it when I was younger. It's just something that I never got
There is
invested
one
in.
iconic ability for our shamanic protagonist, possession. This mystical power allows you to take control of your foes and use their strengths and weapons against them, or use them to gain access to paths still ahead. The Oddworld universe is a diverse place, and this means that there are some environments and situations that require a little more thought, patience, and stealth. You'll find dark and dangerous caves, heavily guarded industrial sites, and ancient forgotten
Yeah, because didn't you, at the start of a
Here, we've
level,
built lots
you're
of
going to rescue
opportunities for
people,
you to
and then you
test your
rescue the
skills
people, and then you have to
find
take
different
them
ways to
through
handle things.
the level? Yeah.
Yep.
It won't
You
be
have to
easy.
save all
If
100.
being hunted
or
by an
something.
army backed by a shady and wealthy organization isn't bad enough. There are also more dangers in the forms of natural obstacles, ancient traps, trials.
It looks
swarming
great
dark
for
creatures,
in terms of
and
like
industrial
visuals,
hazards
but
that must be dodged, crossed, and avoided.
it's just not for me.
Ultimately,
Again.
Abe's journey is one of hope, freedom, and truth. There's a rich and engaging narrative to discover in a world full of lies.
I used to
we've
have
been able
nightmares
bring
as
our
a kid
characters to life like never
about
before.
having my mouth sewed
In
shut.
true Oddworld fashion, your actions in-game will decide the fate of Abe and
So I
all
think
those
this
who manage to
we've
liberate
reached on a
along the
deeper
way.
level.
And we can't wait to see what you will do.
April 6th, there you go, Steve.
6, wow.
Very
Okay.
soon.
So soon.
6
Awesome.
weeks.
Like you said, Kev, will they just release it already?
At least I don't have to watch that trailer at E3 this year.
That was
Oh
the
wait.
latest
True.
on Oddworld
Oh, wait.
Soulstorm. And here's some exciting news.
E3's not
Active
happening.
PlayStation Plus members will get the PS5 version for no extra cost starting in April. PS5
Nice.
version for no extra cost starting
So
in April.
yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like I'm getting the game anyway. Here we go.
Here we go.
This looks really good.
Catch up with
Bingo.
Kena Bridge of
Here we
Spirits,
go. It's on
this
it.
new adventure we last saw on the June PS5 showcase.
Give us a release date. This game looks beautiful.
Looks very good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Disney but playable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sold already.
Put it in a Pokeball.
In a Pokeball. That's tomorrow, Steve. Yeah, it looks gorgeous. Really
It
does.
looks so nice. Yeah.
They're usually timid.
I think that's Louise's next game after Ratchet and Clank.
Something tells me you did not
If it comes out on Switch, it'll be
It's
happy.
Gandalf.
looking for a forest.
Gandalf, the not so grey, not so white, the in between years.
The Gandalf the Greying.
Our village is now to the shrine.
Gandalf, the I'm on the way back to the Shire, but I suppose I can do this side quest.
15 side quests later.
Yeah. See, with that staff, she reminds me of Rey,
Yeah.
and I like that.
I'm getting very Star Fox Adventures vibes off that.
Trapped spirits linger here.
400k are watching this alone. Fucking hell.
So there's your main goal to free the spirits. I'm assuming it's gonna be region based. Go from region to region, unlock all the spirits,
You have to go
or free all the spirits per se.
The boss fights look, I hate to say it, Souls-like.
Yeah.
I think that's just a staple for combat now.
Yeah.
Especially those action games.
Yeah. To kind of keep you moving.
Yeah, it's God of War, Souls,
Yeah.
Jedi, Fallen Order.
Make it more exciting so it's not just a static stand here and shoot. Oh yeah.
What does the fox say?
I forgot that song existed. Stephen and Dylan are not on the podcast next week. I'm taking over.
We're just cultured as fuck.
What is going on?
Oh yeah. I'm all in on this game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All in. Give us that
Give me a
release
release
date.
date, come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
No.
Blue balls in us.
August.
Nice. Late
This
summer.
year. Nice.
Now let's
So
talk
that'll be out in
about
January
Deathloop
2022.
by
Can't wait.
Deathloop, a PS5 first-person shooter
Deathloop.
developed by the
Kev.
team at Arcane.
I didn't like this.
Oh, I don't think I put that in yours. That was a WhatsApp one.
Oh,
This is the like rogue guys against each other.
This
isn't it?
this is the Xbox exclusive, Sony PlayStation exclusive game.
Oh yeah.
This is made by Bethesda.
Yeah.
It's gonna be made by Xbox for PlayStation as an exclusive. So in other words, it'll be on the Epic Game Store next year.
Yeah.
I mean, that was other news actually as well, that Days Gone is coming to PC.
Yes.
Has come to PC. It's pre-order.
No, April
up for
26th.
pre-order. Up for pre-order. Yeah.
Pre-order. More of that, please, Sony.
Are you very James Bond vibes?
Yeah.
From
Yeah,
the
but isn't it like
soundtrack?
a free-for-all shooter?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
That's what I got from the first presentation.
What's it like?
I thought it was Assassins against Assassins, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like
no, it is.
Assassin's
But
Creed,
is it
but-
single player or is it
No, I think it's multiplayer only.
multiplayer? Like there's literally 10 different people against each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
free-for-all multiplayer.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what I would have assumed as well.
Like from
Cool
the first
concept.
kind of...
It's kind
It
of
looks so different from the first presentation.
Yeah.
It looked more animated, like I
yeah,
don't- I know
cartoony.
It's all animated, but it looked very cartoony. It looked more like this aesthetic rather than this.
Yeah. I wonder. It's basically what this game is. Then it's a battle royale scaled back.
Yeah,
It's not
a
your
battle royale on a
100
smaller
players.
map type thing.
That's very
the
much like what's that game? Dishonored, isn't it?
No. Yeah, it reminds me of Dishonored.
Yeah.
The thing that I feel like with these games, there's such a good backstory to it that it's just it doesn't get developed because it's a multiplayer,
Yeah.
like shooter battle royale kind of esque, like Overwatch.
Yeah, all the content comes out in videos. But
Yeah.
in the game, there's none.
Apex.
Apex
in
as
in
well,
a weird
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Let's do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know what
It would
to
be
make
something
of it.
fun that was played as a group rather than I don't know if I'd check it out myself.
It's AAA Among Us. Except
an
everyone's
assassin
killing
Among Us.
everyone. Deathloop is what it was called. That's couldn't think of it. Yeah, I had this on my bingo that Steven didn't include, so I'm counting that as one of them.
It is developed by Arcane as well, so
Arcane,
that's
yeah,
the,
so that's why Dishonored.
the Dishonored vibes.
Before we leave, how about a huge update for one of 2020's most celebrated games?
Do it, so
No way! GG Sony.
Don't care, bingo all over.
Footage captured on
all I
PS5.
Come on.
please say it's out today. Please say it's out.
Could you imagine?
Oh,
Do you know what the thing is
Available
though,
after
right?
this presentation.
Do you know what the thing is though? The PS4 version of this game is like 95 gigabytes.
yeah.
Like, how big is it gonna be with ray tracing if that's what it's getting?
I would imagine it's.
Oh, spoilers! Spoilers! Spoilers!
I know. I'm trying not to look. I'm literally looking at you guys in the corner of the screen.
Your girl
'Cause I saw some prick with red hair that I'd
Shush.
never seen before.
Steven?
Yes, I see that.
Is Yuffie, materia hunter and elite special forces
Steven?
operative for the new Wutai government. We'll prove to our common enemy that Wutai is not to be trifled with. Members of Avalanche, we got this.
I'm back.
Ah, there you are. Someone's been expecting you. What took you?
Sorry about that. Anyway, it's nice
Steven?
to meet you. I'm Sonon Kusakabe. Where's Cloud?
We lost him.
You what?
He will be okay though, right?
Well, of course he will.
They're the ones who blew up the reactors. Cool. Should we say hi?
No, better not. After what they've done, you gotta assume Shinra's on their tail.
Look, a Moogle!
Stop! We gotta help.
What are you doing to me, Square?
Oh.
It's
better than I
prologue.
expected.
It's a prologue for part 2, basically.
Yeah.
Is it 1.5 basically?
Not quite.
No.
It's a what I think this is gonna be is a prologue DLC to give you backstory for part 2.
Okay.
It's giving you
If that makes
backstory
sense.
on Wutai.
On
yeah.
Yuffie, yeah.
Yeah. You'll probably heard about Wutai, so there's a little bit of backstory on it, I think.
There you are.
Who are these jerks?
No clue. It just appeared.
New enemies.
Intergrade.
Ooh.
Now, let the hunt begin.
More? 10th of June.
I know who that was. They say there's an upgrade coming before then. Come on.
Development footage? Yes?
Do it. Come on. It's really hard to tell through your stream.
I know, sorry. Oh,
I just
wow.
want a date.
It's gonna be June, I'd say.
Now, was that June or was that not later on in the year? Is that not
No.
Americanized?
No, it was
date?
American. Oh.
Oh,
You know?
Dylan. Why'd you do that? Oh, wow. Holy shit.
I can't tell.
That looks stunning. It looks absolutely stunning.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch this back when we're done.
Yeah. Go on, give
Close your eyes.
us that the one word we want. Give us the word we want.
Summer?
Today.
Well, that's another word we want.
Oh yeah, ray tracing. Come on, lighting.
So if that first expansion was October and not June,
Could be June. Because it's not American, it's Japanese.
yeah. Yeah, true actually. Am I allowed to watch this?
No.
Okay.
Quality of
of life. Oh, we're getting loads.
You can now stream 60
Oh,
FPS. Let's go. You can
sweet.
now stream the final thing,
Loading time.
the final mission. Wow.
That's insane. Oh, camera mode.
Photo
Sweet.
mode.
That's what I was looking for actually today.
That's gonna be used for all sorts of wrongness.
Kev's
Yep.
gonna have fun with this.
June 10th. June
have
10th.
It is June 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's all coming out in June, so is it?
Official.
You see that?
That's how ninjas do it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all part of June 10th.
Where it's all coming out as a one package. Oh.
Oh.
Thank God.
Sweet.
Thank you. However, I'd probably just buy it again just to give them the money because it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So June 10th, okay.
So it is
No,
Americanized.
Was the reveal of Final Fantasy VII.
They
said the
didn't
6, 10,
have-
21.
Coming to the PS5 console later this year.
So that means it's
They
10,
had-
6.
Yeah.
And that's our show. We hope you're as excited as we are for what's to come. And
That was
It
very
wasn't a-
short.
See you next time.
It was half an hour.
Yeah.
I will say that was fairly shit, bar the last one.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is there was nothing anywhere about all of that being PlayStation exclusive.
Is it assumed that it is?
It is assumed, but don't ruin my moment. There was
I mean, it
nothing
did
there.
say PS4 and PS5 upgrades.
It
not
did, but it
necessarily
didn't say
next-gen
anything about
upgrades.
PlayStation exclusive, and I hope.
I think that's a while out, Kev.
PC.
Other than Returnal, Kenna, and then we had Abe's World Odyssey, and the other.
It's all
Spirit
free, by the
game.
way. Everything's free, including the DLC for Yuffie.
Nice.
No, it's available to pre-order, is what it said.
Oh, that's true.
So-
Actually, that may be wrong. It may not be free. Well, no,
That's
the
not free.
upgrade's free, but
The
Yuffie's
upgrade
probably
is
not.
free. Yeah, Yuffie DLC isn't.
So the Yuffie DLC is just bridging the gap between 1 and 2 then.
No,
I think once you get into it a bit more, you'll hear a lot more about what's about a place
So
called Wutai.
Yuffie is another playable character in the original,
Okay.
and she wasn't obviously part of part 1, but this is to give you a backstory for her of what she's doing while the main lot are doing their thing now,
Okay.
and then she will come in part 2, I imagine.
Yeah, because in the original game, she was actually only a chance encounter.
Yeah.
Like, you had to go out of your way to get her as a character.
Okay.
So you could completely miss her entirely.
There's nothing about PC at the moment, but anyway, to be honest with you, I don't know if I'd even bother going with PC because it's gonna look unbelievable on PS5 anyway.
Yeah.
4K 60.
Final Fantasy VII is getting a free PS5 upgrade that adds Yuffie. So maybe she's added.
Maybe if you have the game, but
Maybe.
I don't know.
Hopefully, when you play through her chapters or chapter, whatever it is, and you finish it, hopefully you
becomes
can
playable.
play the rest of the
Yeah.
game with them. That'd be great.
I-
Don't ruin it on me, Stephen. Anyway, yeah, at least we got a date on that.
Yeah. A lot of dates today.
So improved textures, fog effects, improved lighting, graphics mode 40K, 4K 30 FPS, performance mode 60 FPS, normal classic difficulty, improved loading times, photo mode, and Yuffie episode.
Yeah.
And just announced, by the way, 2 new mobile games set in the Final Fantasy VII universe. Here's Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier, a battle royale game set in Midgar before the events of Final Fantasy VII. As soldier candidate, make full use of your abilities. So, First Soldier is a battle royale game for mobile.
Okay.
Take from that what you will. And the other one, they haven't said what the other one is. They haven't announced the one yet. Anyway, yeah, that was all right.
As a
Yeah,
showcase, it was a bit blown out of proportion.
See, they did say 10 games for 30 minutes in the announcement yesterday.
What did we get? Like
10
6?
games? We got 10 games, yeah.
Did we? Oh, I
Yeah.
suppose the
Crash,
the
Returnal,
dodgeball.
Kenna, Oddworld, Dodgeball, Final Fantasy,
Deathloop.
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 Abe's Odyssey.
I
Or
said
Abe's,
that, yeah.
Ori Will of the Wisps game looking
Ash.
thing.
Oh, Ash, whatever.
Yeah.
Ash and something.
Freddy's. And the
Yeah.
one you said is like the art style of 10.
Yeah. Just 10, 9 mediocre, or 8 mediocre.
I'm really surprised they didn't have anything about Final Fantasy 14 because they have.
Or Horizon. Nothing on that, and that's supposed to be coming out this year.
It's not
Can't
coming
see that
out this
happening.
year. It's just not.
Like, I know God of War isn't happening this year, but I would have thought Horizon.
Yeah.
I would have seen a little bit more of
See, they'll save a lot of that big stuff for their
E3 conference.
E3 conference, inverted commas, for the
Yeah, true,
audio
actually.
listeners that are going to tell me Sony aren't at E3. But yeah,
Nobody's
that's-
at E3.
Nobody's
It
at
ain't
E3.
happening.
They'll save a lot of the big stuff for then.
Yeah.
So actually, Kev, I'm just looking at the final screen they had there. So new episode featuring Yuffie is available for purchase after upgrading to the PS5 version. So
Okay,
PS4 players won't get it.
Get wrecked.
Oh. leaving a generation behind. At least it's coming out in June, so it gives the majority
People
of
have time to get it.
people to get a PS5.
Give you a Lendl. Anyway, yeah. Still, it was interesting. Nice to see some new stuff, and looking forward to the Pokemon one tomorrow as well.
Yes.
As that.
Hopefully, lots to talk about next week on it.
So
Yeah.
Other stuff that wasn't really shown there was Thor or God of War Ragnarok, as you said.
Horizon Forbidden West.
Horizon, still Elden Ring still doesn't exist.
That's never getting made.
Far Cry 6 wasn't mentioned, but that's not a first party thing. And Gotham Knights wasn't mentioned, but that's also not first party.
Same with Suicide Squad.
I'm looking at the games that I'm looking forward to here that I had pictures saved up to go through them. So, anyway.
It's a very indie developer kind of couple of months for PlayStation. Rather than the first party.
Mm-hmm.
Still haven't got a lot of their first party launch games out yet.
No.
I mean, Killzone hasn't been released yet.
Killzone's dead, isn't it? Jokes aside. Jokes aside. Didn't they say Killzone's finished after Shadowfall? Which was a very enjoyable game, I might add. And I think
much better now with the PS5.
What's it?
Shadowfall apparently is a lot better to play on PS5 because it'll reach the max frame target. So haven't played it, so I don't know.
No, see, I played that before I owned a PC, so I didn't know what a frame per second was.
My eyes were still closed.
Yeah. Anyway, I think
that's it for the week.
We'll begin to wrap up there. What are your biggest hopes for the Nintendo Direct tomorrow, just to finish it off?
Pokemon remake of the Sinnoh region, and
Diamond
a possible
Pearl.
or Diamond Pearl. Sorry, there has been rumors of a Let's Go adaptation in the works, so I would like that to coincide with a Diamond and Pearl remake, and not necessarily as the Diamond and Pearl remake. We're gonna get Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Home, Pokemon fucking take the bins out. It's inevitable. There's gonna be those filler Nintendo.
There will be mobile games as well, and Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Pinball remake. Do it.
A Let's Go wouldn't be a bad addition to the franchise, considering how good the movie was. I think that would be a bit of a gateway for a lot of people who wouldn't necessarily play the main core games. But yeah, Sinnoh, or sorry, the Diamond and Pearl remake.
Yeah, which is Sinnoh,
which is coming to Switch. I just think, I'm happy with a lot of remasters coming to Switch just because of how good it looks and how it will be to experience that region again in those upgraded art styles, graphics, X, Y, and Z, you know.
Go on, Stephen, say the exact opposite of what he just said.
I'm okay with what he said. I stopped playing after Red and Blue, so I would love to go back and play the old games with upgraded graphics. In saying that, the idea of Let's Go for Sinnoh or anything excites me because I really like Let's Go. I love the throwing, the nunchuck or whatever it is, the Joy-Con to capture, and it's
Telly
just
Smasher.
so much fun. Yeah, I love that. So I'm all for that being announced tomorrow. I hope it's not a combination of the two, that it's a Diamond and Pearl remake as Let's Go. Like, I'll be happy with it, but I know a lot of people won't, so I hope they're separate. But for me, I'll be happy with any Let's Go announcements or a remake. So either or, I'm happy.
Like, next in line of the Let's Go would be Gold and Silver. So, I mean, that would be great because you could just have Gold and Silver, play that through as Let's Go, and then go straight into Diamond and Pearl. I think that would be great. Or even if they did release Diamond and Pearl as a official remake, like in the main game series, and then Let's Go on the Emerald. Was that it? The Emerald version of that? Or was that the previous ones?
Sorry, what was that? Sorry, I was
I
seeing what
say-
the other mobile game of Final Fantasy was.
I was
It's
just gonna
called
tell you about
Final
this.
Fantasy VII
Ever
Ever
Crisis.
Crisis.
The bastards. This is Ever Crisis.
Features the
It-
entire Final Fantasy VII
Timeline,
compilation
yeah.
and more. So is it just...
No, it's all the way from before Crisis all the way to Advent Children. So you get before Crisis, Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII, Dirge of Cerebrus, and then Advent Children. So it's that whole compilation of Final Fantasy VII. But it's coming out. So do you remember Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition?
Mhm.
The little, like, chibi type things.
That's
It's coming
really
out with
cool,
that.
though.
And it's episodic.
Mm.
It comes out in 2022.
Interesting. Anyway, back to where we were.
Diamond and Pearl remakes and Dylan was saying
Yeah,
about
so
Emerald.
sorry, I didn't mean Emerald. I meant Platinum, isn't it?
Yeah.
If they brought out the main game series of Diamond and Pearl and then brought out Platinum as a Let's Go, so it's kind of like it's an extra without being an extra, but I don't know. I just can't see a lot of development being put into I know they're not
That's
new
what I
games,
mean,
but
yeah.
brand new titles. I think we're kind of reaching with that.
Yeah,
But,
that's what the rumor that I saw during the week was that we're getting a Let's Go and a Diamond and Pearl remake.
Yeah.
My worry is that the Diamond and Pearl remake
pain.
is a Let's Go, and I personally don't want that because this year will be 2 years since Sword and Shield came out. So I wouldn't want the Diamond and Pearl remakes we've all wanted for years to be a Let's Go, because at some point down the line we are gonna get a Diamond and Pearl Let's Go anyway if they
Yeah.
follow that. If they do Let's Go Pikachu Eevee, which was red, blue, and yellow, then Let's Go whatever Lugia and Ho-Ho, and then Let's Go whatever. And if they follow the chronological order, we will eventually get that anyway. But saying that, we're not getting both. There's just no way they'll announce two
I can't see that either.
mainline base games. It's not happening. So my hope would be a proper mainline Pokemon game, whether that
Yeah.
be a Diamond and Pearl remake. I think it's too soon for Generation 9, but we might get Sword and Shield 2 or Bow and Axe or whatever you want to call it. Where we may get a direct sequel to Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
I just
Like
hope
Black
we
and
get
White 2.
like Black and White 2 or
Just extra added to the story.
extra. So I hope it's not that really, but I'll just be happy with any mainline game that isn't a Let's Go Sinnoh region, because
Or a mobile iteration of whatever.
a main Pokemon game is due this year anyway.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get either the Diamond and Pearl remake, full remakes, or just the next game. Or what we may get is a Let's Go of something this year and the new main game will be released in 2022.
Yeah.
Which is also possible.
Yeah. You might
Anyway,
get the announcements for
Temper the expectations, be happy with what we're getting.
No! Get hyped. Get too hyped. That's the secret to disappointment and unhappiness. I said
I'm telling you, we're gonna see that Pokemon. There was at the last Pokemon announcement. There was the Pokemon brush your teeth kind of thing. I'm not even messing. There was a.
I remember.
Yeah.
I
So
forgot about that. That it even existed. Be
Pokemon
Pokemon boil the
once.
kettle.
yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think that's us for the week then.
Yeah.
Covered a lot. We got the PlayStation Direct State of Play.
Mhm.
We got Destiny's groundbreaking announcement today,
Which was humongous.
and I started Final Fantasy VII.
And now you've got
and you're a good
spoilers.
bit into it.
Mm.
Yeah.
I know.
So-
I'm gonna go watch that properly. Right, one is whoever it is, have fun. Oh,
Steven,
sorry,
you're up.
sorry. Just before we go, Jeff Grubb, industry insider, blah blah blah, writes for Gamer Rant. I think he has down for the Pokemon Presents tomorrow as "Let's Go Hootie" and "Let's Go Blowfish," which would Blowfish is
Kyogre.
probably Kyogre, I don't know what hoot he could be. Ho-ho.
Ho-ho.
So maybe we're getting...
They're different generations.
Gen 2 and Gen 3 Let's Go games, possibly. But yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Anyway, go!
Thank you everyone for joining in. We really hope you enjoyed it. I know I did, and I'm sure the guys did too. So if you stay till the end, thank you, and we hope to see you again next week. So thanks very much.
Cheers, guys.
Peace.
See you next week.